Hey guys, it's Mike Barnes, the financial first responder. Hey, listen, today I want to talk to you about a serious topic. I want to talk to you about whether you're a consumer or whether you're an investor. Now, I want you to look at this picture real quickly. I want you to focus on the financial battle for your future. Now, you may be looking at this and saying, hey, he looks like Michael, the archangel. Well, today's topic, I'm going to be talking to you about becoming an investor versus being a consumer, where I think the devil really wants you to be. So, without further ado, let's get started. You see, the war is what you don't see. You have to understand about having a consumer mindset versus a saver mindset versus an investor mindset, and you have to really look at and look out for the identity crisis that you're about to face. See, when you're in a financial battle, you got to understand which side you're on. You're either a consumer or you're an investor, or you're somewhere in between as a saver. But we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the outcomes that happen as a result of you being one of those three. You see, as a consumer, what we're really talking about is the lives or the lifestyle you have, the chances or the chase status. We talk about the use of debt to impress others, and then we talk about the overtime addicts that you tend to do because you're spending too much money. And then the last but not least, you have no assets. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, I own my home. And I would say, yeah, you probably do own your home, but what other income producing assets do you own? Now, you're either a consumer or you're a producer. See, as a producer, you produce everything, whether it be a cell phone, whether it be a product or a service that consumers actually buy. So I want you to think about that real long and hard. Would you be considered a producer or a consumer? Signs you're operating as a consumer. You have high income, but you have a low net worth. You have car payments. You have credit card balances that you carry month to month, and there's no investment strategy you put in place. And your lifestyle is based off of high inflation. That makes you a person who relies a lot on debt. You see, if you're a saver, you've put that emergency fund in place, that 3 to 6 months. You are risk averse, meaning that you don't like to take any risk. You'd rather save your money. You are cash heavy, meaning that you don't trust much about investments. You have stable but stagnant income, and you are afraid of volatility. This is usually a person who's a saver. And the reason why they're savers is because they probably grew up with a parent or a grandparent or someone of significance, importance in their life telling them that they need to save their money. So here's the danger of staying a saver. And it says here that you easy save. You easily save or put your money away. Now, what do I mean by that and how does this work? Inflation erodes your purchasing power. Because inflation goes up every year, the government tends to give a cost of living adjustment or allowance. And they call it a COLA. Not a not a Coca-Cola, but a COLA. You're missing compound interest because you're getting a low interest rate. Your retirement could be delayed, and you have an over dependence on that income or that overtime income that you make. You see, as an investor, your identity is different. You're looking for ownership, ownership of assets. You're looking for, you think and believe in investing for the long term. You understand compound interest or the compounding effect. You diversify your income and you protect your family's legacy as an investor. Here's some weapons of an investor. Now you notice that most investors have a shield. They got that emergency fund 3 to 6 months set aside of expenses. They have a sword, which is their investment strategy that they may be using to basically take out the enemy, which is the devil, the debt. They have armor, which is a form of protection. All type of insurances, that's your armor. And then, of course, your wings, that's your multiple income streams. Because what do we say? When your money's flowing, you're flying high, right? And that means you have some wings. Now, here's an example of a first responder who happens to be an investor. Now, I've used the example of crypto as well as the markets. But I want you thinking about this for a second. You could have the TSP, you could be plus a Roth strategy, meaning that you're not doing it pre-tax, you're doing it after tax, which means once you get ready to take that money out, it's tax free, provided you meet the minimum age requirement, 59 and a half, or you no longer work at the organization. You have rental properties that you receive cash flow for. You have disability insurance in case you become disabled and can't work anymore. And you're doing some tax harvesting or tax efficient investing. Now, if you have not set yourself up to be an investor, this is where you sit down and talk to someone like me, the financial first responder, and figure out how to get there. Now, when we talk about consumers versus investors, as far as a comparison, a consumer spends, spends, spends. They are always trying to impress people and they pay a lot in interest. But an investor, you see that person, he or she owns something. Maybe they own a laundromat, maybe a storage unit, maybe an apartment building, maybe land. They're building. They may own land that they let somebody else harvest uh, vegetables or some type of product on. Maybe they own a solar farm. Or maybe you're like some people that I've talked to who own silver and gold and precious metals. They're looking at the spot price versus what they actually bought it for. And then they make a return. But they are investors. Now let's talk about the cost of staying a consumer. A lot of you don't realize this, but let's say that you were saving $1,200 a month, invested at 8% for 20 years. You'd have $700,000, but because you're not doing it, you lose this opportunity as far as an investment. So I want you to start thinking about two things. Outside of paying your tithes and offerings, I want you to think about you pay yourself first. And then whatever's left after you pay yourself first, you take care of your bills, and then your for sustainment, I mean, like your house, your electric, your water, your gas, your cell phone or phone service, and then everything else would go to reduce your debt. You have to start paying yourself first. Now, see, here's a turning point. Now, what do I mean by a turning point? It is a shift in your identity. You automate your investing. You tell your financial advisor, or you tell the person that you work with, the first responder, say, hey, I want to put so much money away and I want it to come out on the 1st and 15th, or I want it to come out on the 5th of every month, or whatever the dates you want it to come out based off of how you budget your money. You're going to reduce your consumer debt and you're going to build a strategic protection plan, and then you're going to use a system. And remember, we always say a system stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. Most of you do not have a system. But wait, there's more. I've been talking to you about the financial positioning system, or FPS for short, for a while. Why? Because it's a unified dashboard. We have strategic planning, asset positioning, and protection review every time you look at your financial positioning system. And you have a platform that you get your goals in alignment. Now, here are some examples or some samples of how it would look on the computer or on your phone, where you would actually know where you were at on a daily basis. And then you have to protect your family from that financial chaos. See, you are the protector. Your family is watching, and they're going to either be half as good as you as half as bad. Your decision really matters. And so, as an example, they're going to look to see if you were a person who owned life insurance. They're going to look to see if you were a person who actually put money away for a retirement plan or for a actual goal. If you're not talking to your loved ones or your spouse about this, and I talk about this, I did talk about it in the financial communication piece I did the other day. If you're not talking, you are failing your family miserably because they don't know how to operate in the event something happens to you. Are you ready? Are you ready to stop being a consumer? See, most of you rack up your cart, whether it's the Amazon cart or whether it's your grocery cart or whether it's the shopping cart. You need to start acting like an investor. Now, an investor is going to take the time to actually sit and look at what they need to do to become an investor. Whether it's buying rental property, whether it's investing in the market, stock market, bond market, crypto, precious metals, or maybe they own a franchise, or maybe they've decided to purchase a car wash or a laundromat or storage unit or apartment building. They are looking at cash flow as an investment, not stuff. What are the next steps? Well, that's real clear. The first thing is I want you to join the financial positioning system. I need you to copy this link and put it in your toolbar and go there and get started. Or you can go on and book a consultation by going to www.truenorthadvisoryllc.com. And then I need you to like and subscribe this channel. This has been for educational purposes only, and I am a licensed financial professional. But guess what? If you don't do anything and you don't get started, then the odds are you won't get the results that you want. I always say that you need to make your life great on purpose. And there's a reason why I always say you need to make your life great on purpose. Because at the end of the day, it is your life. And even though I'm the financial first responder, I can't help you get where you want to be unless you make a decision to do that. Now, most of you have seen a skyscraper made or some building made. The first thing you have to do when it comes to your finances is you have to build your assets, you have to build a legacy, and then you have to build some freedom. And I'm just telling you, click the link here for the financial positioning system, go in and sign up, and let's get started. Or if you have more questions, click the second link and get on my newsletter or within my ecosphere, and let's talk. Let's figure out how to help you get where you want to be. Look, this is Mike Barnes, the financial first responder. Please like and subscribe my channel. I look forward to talking to you, and I will see you in the app.